You are watching NCAA Men's College Basketball on ESPN+, and we welcome you live inside the Cam Henderson Center in Huntington, West Virginia, on the beautiful campus of Marshall University. We're on this Monday evening, the homestanding Thundering Herd of Marshall playing host to the visiting Bobcats of West Virginia Wesleyan, a member of the NCAA Division II Mountain East Conference. Wesleyan located in picturesque Buckhannon, West Virginia. Marshall coming in 6-5 off a big win over the Ohio Bobcats here on Saturday. Wesleyan comes in at 2-8 and coming off that second win of the season against Salem. Greetings from Huntington, along with former Herd standout Odd Elmore and our great crew of Mark Martin. Delighted to have you with us on ESPN Plus tonight. Two guys who know each other quite well, put their respective teams against each other. Derek Sloan and Cornelius Jackson.
No, big night for Herd Sports. Of course, you have the Marshall basketball team here going for win number 7 against West Virginia Wesleyan, and then an hour later you have kickoff in the national championship game with the Marshall soccer team. So big night here in Huntington and big night for Marshall athletics.
Well, let's talk about this game and Odd's thoughts, and what do you see happening here tonight, Odd?
Well, if you're Marshall, you need to come out and get a quick start. You want to put this team away. West Virginia Wesleyan is 2-8. They're a Division II opponent. You need to come out, put them away quick. Use your depth. You come out, you get a big lead. You start to get all your guys on the bench some playing time, and then if you do that, everybody starts feeling good heading into conference play because the next game's at Southern Miss to open Sun Belt play. Conversely, if you're Wesleyan, do what you do. You're obviously facing an uphill battle here playing against Marshall. Run your stuff. Don't get outside of who you are. Don't pick up any bad habits. And really, if you're Wesleyan, enjoy the moment. These guys are getting to play in a Division I arena. They came down last night, stayed in a hotel. They're getting to live, a lavish lifestyle that, normally you don't get to do in the Mountain East Conference. So enjoy the moment if you're them and play hard.
No doubt about it. Alex Maracini, who wears number 1, averages 17 a game, and Jalen Spear for the Thundering Herd of Marshall, who wears number 50. A couple of guys we'll keep our eyes on here tonight. Derek Sloan in his 4th year guiding this proud Wesleyan Bobcat program. Cornelius Jackson in season number 1 as Marshall's head coach. Our officials, Jason Baker, Jordan Arnold, and Crystal Hogan. Marshall leads the series 30-13. Bobcats will have the basketball to get us going here tonight inside the Cam Henderson Center. Curtis Litton, a young man from the state of West Virginia, 6'8" junior out of Clay County High School, home of the Panthers. Really developed into a nice player from straight away. Looking for the 3 is Michael Batchelor. Can't get it to drop, and now Marshall on the offensive end for the first time. And our starting lineups here in this game are presented by your Tri-State Ford dealers, Mingo, Dawson, Spear, Anna Chili-Killen, and Nate Martin. And just as we speak, Nate Martin and Anna Chili-Killen, they get together for a slam dunk.
No, excellent set play there by Corny. Had that play drawn up for the purse play. Feed Nate Martin. Against the smaller West Virginia Wesleyan team, he's going to attract a lot of attention inside. On the backside, they had Obina streaking for the alley-oop, and it was a great feed by Nate.
How about Litton from the outside? The big guy stroking the 3, his 10th of the season. Now Marshall back to work here. Michael Dawson coming off a great game in that win over Ohio. Mingo. Martin will drive on the baseline. Kick it to Spear. Here is Dawson, and Dawson has really been red hot from the 3-point line. Can't get that one to go. And Maracini will bring it across the timeline for the Bobcats, and a little too fancy there. Tie up for the ball, and it will point in the direction of the Herd.
And you mentioned Dawson's been red hot, averaging close to 20 points a game over the last 5. He's been knocking down shots at a high rate. If you're Marshall, that's the shot you want. If you can get him a wide open look, that's great offense. So they'll take that even though he missed that first one.
Second team in which Marshall has faced this season for the Mountain East Conference. Thundering Herd opened up the campaign with a victory against Davis, and Elkins won that one 90-57. Wesleyan's wins have come over Bloomsburg and again most recently Salem, 85-78. Mingo cut off there. Spear to Martin, and Martin will step there against Litton, and here is Dawson delivering the 3-pointer.
Again, another great play by Nate Martin. He's got the assist on both baskets for Marshall. He's drawn a lot of attention inside there. Dawson's man helped just a hair too much. Nate was able to hit it out, hit Mike, and Mike was able to knock it down. So Nate's doing a good job of being the focal point of the offense and running the offense through him.
Dawson with his 30th three-pointer of the season, averaging 12.4 a game. Working hard against Martin, twisting, turning, and getting it to go there is Stephen Ovia. Nice job by Ovia, young man from London, junior college player, been dealing with some injuries this season, but a real athletic player, averages 7.5 a game. Have a foul called here. Alex Gray committing the foul, former Thundering Herd point guard. Cornelius Jackson looking on, and Mingo will go to the free throw line. Mingo on the season, 65.5% from the stripe. Mingo up and in with the first one.
And you see on the replay, he just sort of rejected the screen, went baseline, and I haven't seen that sort of athletic spring from him yet this year, but he went up with bad intentions. As a result, he's going to get his second free throw.
Mingo averaging 10.7 a game and knocks down both free throws. 7-5 game here. Bobcats attack. It's a once very proud program out in the old West Virginia Conference. Won a lot of championships, and now, of course, member of the Mountain East. And here is Marasini from the outside, connecting, and the Bobcats with the lead. Second three-pointer of the game.
And that's what Marasini does. He's a small guard. He shoots better from the three-point range than he does from two. He shoots 42% from three. So if you're Marshall, you have to get up, crowd him, and make him go to the basket and try to make him finish oversized.
Here is a pass into the hands of Ovia, and Ovia has it, and 10-7 lead here for the guys from Buchanan, West Virginia. Nate Martin will give way to Jalen Spear. And now here is Spear from the outside. Can't get it to go, and the rebound controlled there by Alex Gray of Lauderhill, Florida. Junior college player, really brings a lot of energy. Great rebounder, as he showed there. Marasini to Litton. Litton working against Obina and Achillikillen. A couple of guys who played their high school ball in West Virginia. Litton is open. That one will be short. Mingo snags the rebound. Mingo averaging 4 rebounds a game. Here is Dawson looking for another three, and he's got it.
And that's a great job by Marshall, pushing the pace. Finally had a pretty good defense possession. They locked in, guarded for about 25 seconds of the shot clock, forced a tough shot from a big from West Virginia Wesleyan, and we were able to get the rebound, push it out, and as a result, Dawson was able to get a wide open three.
Ties things up at 10. There's Batchelor in trouble. Back to Marasini. Marasini darts and will force it up on the baseline. Time was winding down there, and that brings us to a timeout. The orange and black clad Bobcats from West Virginia Wesleyan invading here at Cam Henderson Center to meet up with the Thundering Herd, and Michael Dawson with a couple of threes early on for Marshall.
There's all that we fight for and all that we fight against. This is the line where our nation's future is won. We are Marines. We were made for this.
Guys, still working, eh? Take tomorrow off. Keys.
team mascot, and boy, am I running late. But I got lead in my foot and spirit in my fingers. Oh, what a hit. And if you don't have the right auto insurance coverage, the cost to cover that might tank your season. So get Allstate, save money on auto insurance, and be protected from mayhem, like me. Woo!
10-10 game between West Virginia Wesleyan and Marshall University inside the Cam Henderson Center. And Marshall and Wesleyan first met January 12th, 1923. How about that? 44-25 was the final. Wesleyan won. Sebe Ross scored 18 points in that game for Wesleyan, and Sebe, just a couple of years later, would become the athletic director and head football coach of that school. 2 years out, and just a historic coach. Field there at Wesleyan for football, soccer named in his honor. But Marshall leads the overall series 30-13. Last meeting 8 years ago, Marshall winning that one. Dan Tony, the head coach of the Thundering Herd, Obina and Achille now with 4 in the game.
And I'd look for Marshall to go on a little spurt here, Mark. For the first 5 minutes, you could sort of feel like West Virginia Wesleyan was playing a lot more intensity than Marshall. You know, this is their Super Bowl. Marshall sort of looking past them a little bit towards Sun Belt play and Southern Miss coming up later this week. So I'd look for Coach Jackson to have got on him right there in that huddle and see a little spurt out of Marshall right here.
Mingo to Anachille Killen. Kick it to Spear. He'll fire and connect. Spears played well here as of late, Ott.
No, and him being inserted into the starting lineup last game, I think, unlocks a new level to this team. Biggest win of the year, quickest start of the year against Ohio University last time out. He got the start. He's only averaging 7 points a game on the year, but had 12 in that game. And it looks like he's fully recovered from an early season knee injury that sort of sidelined him, you know, through the first few games.
Spear now has 14 threes on the season. Anachille Killen with the block. That's his 17th of the season's swatting would-be buckets of the opponents away. Nate Martin. Collision there underneath. Ball goes out of bounds, and it will stay with the Herd. So Ovia comes back in. Litton is out at the moment. Wesleyan also working with Anthony Crosby, A.J. Crosby, they like to call him, who is playing just for the second time this season. He's been injured. Nate Martin comes out, and coming into the game for the Herd is Cade Gibbs.
And that's poor. That's just poor preparation if you're West Virginia Wesleyan. Marshall runs that play about 70% of times on the outbounds under. Dawson always fakes the up screen, then peels out to the corner and gets screened in. And when you got a guy shooting as good as him, you better make sure you're guarding him. And there, West Virginia Wesleyan didn't do a very good job of that.
Big step there by Ovia. Couldn't get it to come down when Dawson has 8 points. Marshall whips it around here. Spear looking for another three, and he drains it. And Derek Sloan needs to talk it over. It was a 10-10 game, and Marshall on a 10-0 run.
And you felt that coming, Mark, at that first media timeout. West Virginia Wesleyan had just been playing harder, had been more locked in on the defense end. Corny, you know, sort of jumped his guys, got them a little bit more focused, and as a result, they came out of that first media timeout. Now we're on a 10-0 run, and you've got some space in between them and Wesleyan.
Marshall huddling with Cornelius Jackson. Thundering Herd 6-1 on the season here at home. Wesleyan is 1-5 on the road. They say early on in the season, you look, Marshall's played 11 games and Wesleyan's played 10. You rack them up, don't you?
Yeah, the season started already flying by. This is Marshall's last non-conference home game. Of course, they open up Sun Belt play with Southern Miss later this week. And then the only other non-conference game they have left is the 28th at Elon. So we're already through about the non-conference portion of the schedule and getting ready for Sun Belt play, and that will be where Marshall will really be tested, and we'll see how they stack up.
Now, a little different in the Mountain East Conference, in which Wesleyan is a member. They've already played Fairmont State, West Liberty, and Wheeling University this season. The West Liberty team, the preseason favorite. And, of course, one of the motivators for this Wesleyan team. They were picked to finish 11th. And so, you know, they are definitely wanting to prove their worth and just trying to build and climb in the very competitive MEC. We mentioned West Liberty, and it was all about to get to championship games.
Yeah, and the MEC is a tough conference to be rebuilding in, and that's why, you know, West Virginia Wesleyan has struggled these past few years, because you have programs like West Liberty that are perennially the top 5 teams in the country at the Division II level. So it could get rough sledding for you while you're trying to work your way up. But Coach Queen looks like he has a solid group that he can build on for the future here.
Shot is up, won't go. Nutter is into the game. Ryan Nutter for Marshall dishes it to Dawson, and a tough turnaround by Dawson. Nutter nearly kept it alive for the Herd. Yeah, when I say championships, I'm not talking MEC championship. We're talking about NCAA Division II, and shot by Maricini won't go. Thundering Herd back to work. Nutter, spear, and that had a good look to it, but just wouldn't go. And Chili Killen gets the rebound, gets it to Dawson. He can't connect. Gray snags the missed shot. From the outside, gunning is number 3, Batchelor, and he's got a 3, his 29th of the season.
And that's the strength of his game. He's over a 40% three-point shooter, averaging 15 points per game on the year. So between him and Maricini, Marshall's really going to have their hands full guarding the perimeter for West Virginia Wesleyan.
And then Spear answers his 3rd 3 here in this opening half. 23-15 Thundering Herd. Marshall averaging 76.9 a game, allowing 73.5. Wesleyan 67.5, giving up 79.2. Marshall 27.9 from the three-point line. Driving in is Gray, and Marshall comes away with it, and it should be an easy 2 for Dawson. It is, and Dawson already in double figures with 10. 25-15.
And that's big. You have Dawson with 10 and Spears with 9. This team's built around Obina and Nate Martin in the post. Those guys have yet to get going, and it's good to see these other guards who are going to be role players on this team get going, because that will bode well come conference play at Southern Miss this week.
All right, so Marshall, timeout on the floor. Jalen Spear has knocked down 3 from behind the three-point line. Thundering Herd at the moment leading by 10. Back to the Cam Henderson Center on ESPN Plus in a moment.
Who says that business isn't personal? That what we do should be separate from who we are? At Encova Insurance, we do things differently. Our agents partner with small businesses to get to the heart of what matters. Because we're in the peace of mind business, and we take that very personally with auto, home, and business insurance. At Encova, we're ready for what's next.
Jack Cookfield.
They get a good look there at 4th-year head coach Derek Sloan. Just trying to build this Wesleyan program. He was an assistant head coach at Carver Military Academy. He got hired to be an assistant at Davis and Elkins, but was just there briefly. Nick Patella took the job at Wesleyan, and he followed him to Buchanan and then became the head coach. He was a great player, St. Ignatius High School in Cleveland, and then went to Cleveland State. And there he was coached by Gary Waters and a guy by the name of Cornelius Jackson.
And it's funny, the connections you build, throughout your coaching career or playing career. Coach Jackson, of course, coached Coach Queen, and then now that Coach Queen's running his own program, Coach Jackson brings him down here, throws him a little money, and gives Wesleyan a pretty good game for their schedule.
Shot by Nate Martin. Up and good. Martin's first bucket of the game. He averages 11.2 a contest. Jeffrey Alvarado, a 6'2 freshman, number 30, has checked in for the Bobcats. He has the basketball. Kicks it into the hands of A.J. Crosby, who will drive and be rejected there by Wyatt Fricks, who is into the game for the Thundering Herd, number 2. Here is Fricks. And then Fricks gets denied there by Crosby. Mingo on the drive, tough shot, can't get it to drop, and Maracino comes away with it. Maracini, 5'10" senior out of Arlington, Texas. Really good player. Wesleyan was his only Division II offer coming out of the junior college ranks. So out is Alvarado. And it looks like Maracini will also check out. Batted away there by Cade Gibbs.
And that's something Herd fans are getting used to seeing with Cade Gibbs. Is he's an excellent defender. He's always jumping the passing lanes. There, he just gets his hand on the ball. The last few games, he's had a couple of steals for layups. He's turned his defense into some offense for himself and the team. So he's a big energy boost coming off the bench for Marshall.
And coming off the bench for Wesleyan, you see Lamont Jones there, number 2, putting up the shot, averaging a little over 3 a game. Junior college competitor early on in his career from Williamsburg, Virginia. And Marshall's ball, some of the guys thought it was off of the Thundering Herd. Marshall leading it 27-15. Looking for that 7th win of the season. Wesleyan in search of victory number 3. Here is Martin, goes up and can't get it to go. And then Cade Gibbs with the slam dunk. Got loose and scores. Gibbs averaging about 4.5 a game.
But just like that possession, Marshall's doing a good job of getting inside out. They got 2 feet in the paint on the first pass. Then they're able to hit Gibbs along the baseline. Marshall's attacking inside out, and their offense is looking really good here early against Wesleyan.
Lamont Jones up with the shot, couldn't get it to go, and Nate Martin pulls down the rebound. Nutter. Mingo to Nutter. Nutter to Gibbs. Tough shot. Can't get it to drop. Here comes Jones. Slowed up a little bit for Derek Sloan's team. In this Wesleyan team's already played 5 league games, falling to Fairmont State, Frostburg, West Liberty, Wheeling, Point Park. And we have a timeout here on the floor. That was a foul on Mingo, his first. And we return to the Cam Henderson Center in a moment here on ESPN+.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and get access to over 1,300 airport lounges. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
A message from the Sonic Department of Research and Deliciousment.
We topped off the new Sonic Smasher you love with our creamy queso. With hand-smashed patties made to order, it's a cheesy love letter to your taste buds. And they're about to get real emotional. The new Double Sonic Queso Smasher, part of our Smasher lineup.
Just one. been a grind, but I think I've aged you well. Some might say perfect. Who's ready to show 'em who's the cheesiest?
I woke up feeling the cheesiest, coach!
Cheez-It, official sponsor of the college football playoff.
Hey folks, you want to have some fun out here on the water? Go to MidwayUSA.com and get all your fishing supplies. That was fun.
A dream can begin with any play with the West Virginia Lottery. While every play can't be a winner, every play is a win for West Virginia. Since 1986, lottery proceeds have been invested in our future. These funds have helped build schools and equip them with state-of-the-art computer labs. Proceeds have helped pave the way for high school graduates to reach their higher education dreams with the Promise Scholarship. No, not every play is a winner, but every play is a win for West Virginia. Dream big, because when you play, West Virginia wins.
For weight loss made to last, start with what's new at Weight Watchers. Now with access to GLP-1s and registered dietitians, plus 150 new zero-point foods for your best results ever. Sign up now at WeightWatchers.com.
Marshall first-year head coach Cornelius Jackson served several seasons under the great Dan D'Antoni, associate head coach prior to the 23-24 season. Also has coached at West Virginia State, Tennessee, Martin, Cleveland State before coming to Marshall, now getting his first opportunity. And we talked about the opportunity for Wesleyan, a great chance to, be in a big arena and, just really step up the competition. A game like this for Marshall, what's a coach looking for?
You look to get a big lead, and you look to sort of play some new lineups, just tinker with some stuff. It's a game. It's almost like a practice game. If you can get a lead early, make sure you take care of business early, but then you can rotate guys in. You can go deeper in your bench than you normally do. Let some of the guys that normally don't play as much during the games but are crucial practice squad members get some runs. So this is a big game for Marshall. You want to leave this game feeling good. You want to get a good victory, make sure everybody's feeling good going to Southern Miss, because that's when your real season starts. Conference play is what matters most for these mid-major schools. You want to go down there and you want to start 1-0, and that starts here.
29-16 game. Obina, Anachilli-Killen, and Michael Dawson getting set to head back in to the lineup for the Thundering Herd. Ovia working down against Fricks, and Fricks just took that away. And he goes to Gibbs. Into the hands of Spear. Spear is open, and that one won't drop. Spear looking for his 4th 3 of the game. Marshall has nailed 5. Wesleyan has 3. Bobcats back on the attack here. Curtis Litton, West Virginia native, handing it here to Phoenix, Arizona native Michael Batchelor, and Batchelor connects.
And Batchelor's a really nice-looking player. He could stroke the 3 ball. There he's able to hit a mid-range. A minute ago, he got to the basket and got fouled. He averages 15 points a game, and he's a centerpiece for Wesleyan. He's a nice-looking player.
And talking with Derek Sloan today, great guy, and he said, Batchelor's our best shooter. He's showing it. Wesleyan now trying to stick around, and how about that? Marasini connects his second 3 of the contest. 29-21, gets it down to single digits. Jalen Spear, Cade Gibbs, Wyatt Fricks. Now Fricks looking for Mingo, taken away by Batchelor. Batchelor just about walked with it, and it doubled up there and knocked away Marshall's ball.
And if you're Marshall, you can feel the focus sort of waning. You got to get locked back in. Maybe a good possession on offense will spark your defense. But it just feels like the defensive intensity the last couple of minutes for Marshall is not where it needs to be.
Batchelor committing the foul. So Gibbs and Fricks will go out. Dawson and Anachilli-Killen check in. Jaden Westfall into the game, 6'4" freshman. Playing there for the hometown school at a Buchanan Upshur High School. And Derek Sloan says this young man has just really surprised a lot of people. Knows how to play the right way. Dad, the head coach at Buchanan Upshur High School, and he's grown up around the game for sure. Here's Spear. Anachilli-Killen fights his way to the basket, gets it, and draws the foul.
And that's a good job right there of Obina, just playing bully ball. He realizes,
that's a good way.
West Virginia Wesleyan doesn't have anybody who can match his size or physicality. He literally took 4 dribbles, went straight through the West Virginia Wesleyan defender's chest and put him in the basket, and now he's got a chance for a 3-point play.
I was going to say bulldozer, and you said bully. Kind of like yours.
But here it is. You see, he just catches right there at the free throw line. He knows he's not big enough to do anything with me. Right through his chest, right to the basket, and he gets 2.
And Chili Killen hitting 75.8% of his free throws this season. Comes up short there. Marshall by 10. Crosby has it for the Bobcats. Maracini on the move. Now Crosby, and they're going to call Crosby for the travel as he jarred Spear to the floor. Wesleyan opened the season against Edinburgh, then defeated Bloomsburg, lost to the University of South Carolina at Beaufort by 1 point, fell to Fairmont State and Frostburg in Mountain East Conference action, lost to Slippery Rock, West Liberty, Wheeling, and Point Park before knocking off Salem. Here's Nate Martin, and tough shot for Martin. He has 4 in the game. 33-21, Maracini with the big step there. Westfall going to be denied by Anna Chili Killen.
And you've seen Marshall's focus the last 2 possessions with both Litton and Ovia out for West Virginia Wesleyan. They don't have the size to match up inside. So Marshall's throwing it straight into the post. And Obina, the first possession, in the second possession, Nate Martin going right through the defender's chest and finishing right at the rim.
Maracini will get it into Crosby. Crosby hails from Woodbridge, Virginia. Maracini, tough shot. And Chili Killen with the rebound. And dishing it in the direction of Spear, and a kick by the Bobcats. Derek Sloan started his career at Culver Military Academy.
And I'd watch this play. Mark Dawson's going to fake the up screen for Obina, and then Nate's going to pin his man in. So let's see if West Virginia Wesleyan paid attention to the first time they ran this play. Oh. Ran the counter to it, just forcing it into Nate Martin against a smaller defender. Of course, he drew 2 and got an open look for the Herd.
Well, Spear couldn't get it to fall, but a nice job there keeping it alive. And here's Mingo driving in, lost control, last touching, I believe, Westfall. Marshall will keep the basketball. You coached in the Mountain East Conference. I've always felt, even though it's got some age to it now, that Wesleyan had one of the nicer facilities, the Rockefeller Center.
No, it was a nice facility, great atmosphere. It's a little bit smaller now that some of the other schools have been building new arenas, but it had an old school feel. The crowd was lively, of course, when we were there. So it's a proud program, and if Coach Queen can get some wins and get this thing rolling a little bit, the people there will support it.
Driving and putting it up, Maracini can't get it to go. So Marshall now with some numbers here. Maracini will try to hustle back, but and a Chili Killen, top of the key. Nate Martin. Ball knocked away. Marshall's ball, and a timeout on the floor here. 33-21 lead for the Thundering Herd over West Virginia Wesleyan. We return to Huntington in a moment.
A moment. A lot can happen in a moment. It can be fast-paced, or time can stand still. Up in the air, down in the trenches. High-tech, old school. High energy, low-key. Lend a hand. Learn to let go. Find your people and your purpose. We meet the moment. We are Marshall.
Ladies and gentlemen, the power of a word. The anticipation, the adrenaline, the hair on the back of their necks rising. The crowd, the score rising. Greatness rising, the sun rising. Sometimes a word is best left all by itself. The Sun Belt Conference, 14 universities, 10 states, rising.
Back inside the Cam Henderson Center, Marshall and West Virginia Wesleyan, as Marshall plays its 12th basketball game of the season, and a team getting set to play its final match of the campaign, and it's for all the marbles. The men's soccer program here at Marshall, Chris Grassie's Thundering Herd, getting set to go up against Vermont for the NCAA Division I men's soccer title, the College Cup. Vermont and the Thundering Herd, ESPN2. Wow, what a job by Coach Grassie, looking for his second national championship here, guiding the Marshall men's soccer program.
No, Coach Grassie's done a heck of a job, and I don't know a whole lot about soccer, but I'm hoping for one of those 1-0 blowouts and bring a national championship back to Huntington.
Yeah, that was the score against Ohio State on Friday. Spear can't hang on. Vermont won on penalty kicks over Denver. So they will play there. A beautiful complex in Cary, North Carolina.
I'd imagine a lot of Herd fans went down that way to watch that championship game tonight and hoping for a positive result.
The football program that won the Sun Belt Conference championship. Marshall's men's soccer trying to win a national championship, and there's Batchelor at it again, Ott.
And I've been really impressed with Batchelor. On film, he didn't look, he looked a little bit smaller, but here he's decent, 5'10", got good frame, pretty springy off the ground. I've been really impressed with him, and I continue to be impressed with the way Michael Dawson is shooting that basketball.
He's shooting it like Jordan.
Oh, he's shooting it unbelievably. He's playing with such confidence, and he's going to be a real weapon for Marshall as they go into Sun Belt play.
36-24. Wesleyan comes up empty there. Mingo attacking, swatted away there by Crosby. Back into the game is Ovia for Wesleyan, and checking out is Jaden Westfall. Westfall started 4 games this season for the Bobcats of head coach Derek Sloan. Mingo. Spear is wide open, and he's done well shooting tonight. Couldn't get that one to go. And Wesleyan will have it. Lamont Jones. They work with Lamont Jones, number 2. A.J. Crosby, number 5. Number 23, Stephen Ovia.
And Spear has 3 threes already, but I'm sure he could tell you, he should have about 5 or 6. Marshall's offense is, working beautifully. He's getting wide open jumpers. Hopefully, for his sake, he hits a couple in a row, gets feeling good, because if they play offense like this and the ball finds him against Southern Miss, they're going to need him to take advantage of those.
Alex Gray in that lineup, and now back in is Maracini. He replaces Jones. Marshall works with Zane Mingo, Michael Dawson, Kay Gibbs, Obina, Anachili Killen, and Jalen Spear. Gibbs is wide open straight away and guns it through. Cade Gibbs with his 3rd of the season from behind the 3-point line. 39-24 Marshall. Gibbs with 5 in the game, and Ovia. Yeah, they're going to call a foul there on Anachili Killen. That's his first, and that will be team foul number 4 on the Thundering Herd.
But that's a foul you don't mind if you're Marshall. There he's a little aggressive, went for the steal. You only have 2 team fouls, so not really a bad foul. You're not sending him to the line. You love the aggressive nature Obina's playing with on the defense end here tonight.
A nice little sweet pass there by Maracini, but Marshall comes away with the basketball. Gibbs, who just hit the 3. Anachili Killen attacking, and he will be fouled. Litton is up off the bench for the Bobcats. So the foul will be on Crosby, who picks up his 2nd. And Chili Killen will head to the line. You know, talking with Cornelius Jackson about this young man who played his high school ball here in the state at Chapmanville Regional, grew up in Nigeria. Just said, now Obina is Obina. He has been special here for this Thundering Herd program.
He is, and I think he just played his best game of the year last game against Ohio University. Didn't necessarily have the huge scoring output that we've seen from him, but he dominated that game. He was efficient offensively. He had double-digit rebounds. He had 3 or 4 block shots. He's the kind of guy that can impact the game without scoring, and that's sort of what this Marshall team needs from him, is dominate the game defensively, help clean up the glass with Nate Martin, and then be efficient on the offensive end.
Yeah, he had 12 points, 10 rebounds. He's at 8 right now here in this game. Good D by the Herd. Picking it up is Batchelor. He lets it fly. And Marshall coming out of there with it off the Bobcat miss. Spear. There's 3 threes here in this first half. Mingo. Marshall whipping it around and down low to Anna Chili Killen. Can't get it to go. Ovia gets the missed shot. Maracini working out front with it. Mingo guarding him.
And if you're Mingo here, you want to get up in him. Don't let him step back and shoot a jumper. Make him go to the rim and finish oversized. There, he did a good job, made him do just that, and forced the miss. So great job there by Mingo, not giving him the jumper and making him take it to the rim.
Now Maracini trying to add to his point total of 6. Had a couple of threes there in that first half. Marshall leading it 41-24. Halftime coverage from the Cam Henderson Center coming up on ESPN+.
Or what if we move back?
Hold on and let me think.
We just have too many children.
Ugh, we have 1 child and that's not funny.
It's funny. It's just not constructive.
We need a miracle.
Miracle every Thursday starting at 2:45.
Can I tell you something? I love you.
I know.
Find childcare that fits your schedule. Learn more at care.com.
NHL on ESPN Plus is back. Enjoy 1,000+ out-of-market games and so much more. That's hockey on ESPN Plus.
The 2025 NCAA FCS Championship game, Monday, January 6th on ESPN.
It's time to get in the game and sign up to ESPN Plus.
This is an ESPN Sonic blockbuster.
I take the first shot and you keep it coming. We know a lot of my turning nothing to something.
He is must-see television every time he puts that uniform on. College basketball, it never disappoints.
How fun is this?
The best of college basketball every Saturday on ESPN.
This is TGL presented by SoFi. 24 of the best players in the world. No, the universe pitted against each other 3 versus 3. In a first-of-its-kind arena. More Tiger, more Rory, more everybody. Hey, 6 teams, Atlanta, Boston, LA, New York, the Bay, and Jupiter.
Not that Jupiter.
What else? We had a shot clock, mic'd up players, a ref, playoffs, 15 holes, overtime, timeouts. Did we mention the green moves? High tech, higher stakes, and you get to watch it all on ESPN, baby. Keep up. It's golf.
This is an ESPN Sonic blockbuster.
This is star power from the jump. The best of college basketball every Saturday on ESPN.
This is TGL presented by SoFi. 24 of the best players in the world. No, the universe pitted against each other 3 versus 3. 6 teams in a first-of-its-kind arena. We had a shot clock, mic'd up players, playoffs, overtime, and you get to watch it all on ESPN, baby. Keep up. It's golf.
The best of college basketball every Saturday on ESPN.
Youngsters out on the court shooting hoops here inside the Cam Henderson Center. We have reached halftime. Marshall and West Virginia Wesleyan getting together for the 44th time Marshall leads the series 30-13. And the Thundering Herd on top here at the break, 41-24. Along with former Herd standout Ott Elmore and our great crew. I'm Mark Martin, delighted to have you with us here on ESPN Plus. And college basketball, as we talked about earlier in that first half, Ott, it's rolling right along. And of course, you always love to see where teams are moving in what kind of direction. And the latest AP top 25 and the Tennessee Volunteer men's team doing quite well. They got a women's head coach down there we know quite well, and she's off to a great start as well. But the Volunteers doing a bang-up job so far here in this early portion of the 2024-25 campaign.
Well, of course, the assistant coach Caldwell for the men's team last year, Justin Caldwell, is now with player development on the Tennessee men's team. So I'm sure he's enjoying the season so far. He's jumped into a #1 ranked program.
Yeah, not bad. Bruce Pearl, who once coached at Tennessee. Auburn there at #2. Iowa State, Duke, and Kentucky in the top 5. Rounding it out, Marquette, Alabama, Gonzaga, Florida, and Kansas. And then you have Purdue, a team that Marshall faced earlier in the season. Oregon, Oklahoma, Michigan, Houston, and it's Clemson, Texas A&M, UConn, the defending champs, Ole Miss, and Wisconsin. And then rounding it out, Michigan State, Cincinnati, San Diego State, UCLA, and Mississippi State. Marshall and Wesleyan in their respective locker rooms. Marshall on top by a count of 41-24. Come back and talk more about this first half as the Thundering Herd and Bobcats meet for a 44th time. Back in Huntington in just a moment.
A dream can begin with any play with the West Virginia Lottery. While every play can't be a winner, every play is a win for West Virginia. Since 1986, proceeds from the lottery have helped keep our state parks serene and majestic. Proceeds have helped fund education, supporting our school systems, and empowering high school graduates with Promise scholarships. Proceeds also provide care for our seniors, enriching lives and communities. No, not every play is a winner, but every play is a win for West Virginia. Dream big, because when you play, West Virginia wins.
The Home Depot, committed to filling the trades gap.
What is going on?
People love how the new Homes.com helps them get quick answers about any property by connecting them to the actual listing agent.
Oh, so I'm done?
Oh, no. We're still not sure everyone knows that we're the only site that always connects you to the listing agent rather than selling off your contact info. So we're gonna keep you up there a little while longer.
Okay, yeah, I'm getting great exposure. Speaking of exposure, can we get him a hat?
Ooh, what about a beret?
Oh. Ding dong.
Homes.com, we've done your homework. Wings and pizza here.
You mean pizza and wings?
16 boneless wings, 1 pizza, wings and pizza.
It's stuffed crust pizza. Pizza is the lead.
Wings and pizza. Guys?
Get a large 1-topping stuffed crust pizza and 16 boneless wings starting at $19.99. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Own a design studio. Win a really big design contract. Realize you're more of a creative type than a finance type. Realize you got this. Use QuickBooks to get your cash flow flowing. Get live expert assistance to maximize your tax savings.
I can help with that.
Get back to doing what you love. Manage and grow your business all in one place. Intuit QuickBooks, your way to money.
When my patients experience very dry skin, I recommend La Roche-Posay Lipicar Body Cream. 1 application a day keeps dry skin away. La Roche-Posay Body Cream provides 48 hours hydration and helps repair the skin barrier. Suitable for ages 2 weeks to 100 years old. La Roche-Posay, recommended by 90,000 dermatologists worldwide.
Listen up, hockey fans. NHL on ESPN Plus is back. The The hardest hits, the dangles, and of course, the semis.
You've got to be kidding me! It's not real!
Enjoy every second of 1,000+ out-of-market games, exclusive matchups, marquee NHL events, and so much more. That's hockey on ESPN+.
41-24, Marshall, the Sun Belt Conference member, West Virginia Wesleyan, the NCAA Division II Mountain East Conference. And just to point in that first half, Wesleyan has already played 5 league games in this early portion of the season. Fairmont State, great history there. The late, great Joe Retton, who was just recently, I couldn't believe it, he was just recently inducted into the NAIA National Hall of Fame. I'm like, what happened there? I mean, of course, his son's a great high school coach in the state of West Virginia. West Liberty, again, powerhouse there. Jim Crutchfield got that thing going, and Ben Howlett, one of his former stars, has kept it going. Good buddy of yours, James Long, coaching there at the University of Charleston. Point Park, a new member of the league. Brian Poor, who spent time as an assistant here in this league. Bob Bolin, what's sat in your chair here with us on these ESPN Plus telecasts here at Glenville State? And I know that was a program you were a part of for quite a while.
Yeah, assistant coach up there for about 1.5 years with Justin Caldwell, of course, was the men's coach, and Kim Caldwell was the women's coach at the time when I was there. So neat little Marshall connection there. They, I went from Marshall to there. They went from there to Marshall, and it's sort of all tied together.
Davis and Elkins, where the great Cam Henderson once was a successful coach. And again, Wesleyan just, trying to battle again in this very tough MEC league. And again, for the Sun Belt, no head-to-head competition yet, but as you look at the top 7, Arkansas State, South Alabama, Texas State, App State, JMU, Troy, and Georgia Southern, and Marshall, they're at 6 and 5, followed by Coastal, Georgia State, Southern Miss, ULM, Old Dominion, and the Raging Cajuns of Louisiana. We'll get a chance to see a lot of those teams here in the coming weeks and months as we call these games for ESPN Plus. Look forward to that.
Yeah, and Arkansas State, who's of course top that graphic, looks like they're the class of the conference. But outside of that, spots 2 through 8, everybody's pretty similar. So it'll be a battle all year long and a war of attrition in the Sun Belt Conference play.
All right, Thundering Herd back out on the floor. Marshall leading at 41-24. We return to the Cam Henderson Center in a moment here on ESPN Plus.
Or what if we move back?
Hold on and let me think. We need a miracle.
Miracle every Thursday starting at 2:45.
I love you.
I know.
Find childcare that fits your schedule. Learn more at care.com.
The 2025 NCAA FCS Championship game, Monday on ESPN.
You could just watch ESPN, but why not tap in? Tap into peak fandom. Tap into an entire world of sports. Tap into the game and your people. Tap into an entire world of sports. Tap into an entire world of sports. ESPN. You could just watch ESPN, but why not tap in? Tap into peak fandom. Tap into who's hot, who's who, and who's got the takes. Tap into Fast Friends. Tap into the thing that becomes your thing, that becomes everything. Tap into an entire world of sports.
Let's check out some of the first half highlights here, Ott, and Dawson picking up right where he's left off in the last few games. And then, of course, terrific player for Wesleyan is Alex Maracini, and has a nice dish down low there to Stephen Ovia. And Dawson again connecting from the outside.
Yeah, and Dawson had a big half, 5 for 9, 3 for 6 from the three, had 13 points, 3 rebounds, so he had a big first half and has continued his hot play.
A.J. Crosby closing down there on Nate Martin. Ovia with the miss here and puts it through for the Bobcats. And how about Spear with 3 threes there in the first half?
Yeah, Spear, 9 points. He's been aggressive. He's got 10 threes up already tonight. I'm sure, you know, a shooter his caliber would tell you should probably be 6 or 7 for 10. But you like to see him out there hunting his shots, and he's done that so far this half.
Great ball movement there by the Herd with Gibbs finishing it off. Really impressed there in the first half by Batchelor for Wesleyan.
Yeah, 3 for 5, 9 points. He's really been the lone bright spot for Wesleyan. He hasn't looked overmatched here so far, and he's done a good job of, you know, playing under control and, you know, knocking shots down.
Dawson again. Dawson had 3 threes, as did Spear for the Thundering Herd. Gibbs got a 3 there, and Marshall leads it here at halftime, 41-24. Taking a look at our first half stats here, presented by University Ford. What jumps out at you there, Ott?
Well, we mentioned the last game, you know, in the first half against Ohio, you only had 6 assists on 16 made buckets. This game, they've got it figured out. 13 assists, 15 made buckets. And that's the story of the game. You have 13 assists, 4 turnovers. And then conversely, if Wesleyan has 3 assists, 8 turnovers. So you're sharing the ball and you're being disruptive on defense, and that leads to good results.
Michael Dawson leading the way with 13 for Marshall. Obina Anachili-Killen had 8, 5 for Cade Gibbs, 4 for Nate Martin. Zane Mingo had 2, and Jalen Spear had 9. Terrific first half for Spear. West Virginia Wesleyan was led by Batchelor, who knocked down a couple of threes. Maracini had 6, as did Ovia. And 3 points for Curtis Litton, just 4 players scoring there for the Bobcats in that first half of play.
And if you're Marshall, you want to see this lead jump from 17 to about 30. You don't want West Virginia Wesleyan to stick around. Marshall's had a bad tendency this year of having big leads in the first half and letting teams stick around the second half, whether it be Ohio last game, Southern Indiana, Morehead State. That seemed to be the theme here at home. So hopefully Coach Jackson, you know, told his guys, hey, stay locked in. Let's push this out and make sure we have an easy second half.
Now Batchelor got the bucket, and then they get a steal. And here's Batchelor looking for a 3. Can't get that one to go, and Chili-Killen gets it for the Thundering Herd. Mingo will bring it across the 10-second line. Nate Martin with the slam dunk. Martin now with 6 in the contest. Maracini darts in. Ovia, well, I thought for a minute he was going to get away with the walk, but
yeah, it just took 1 too many steps. I think if he just would have took 4, he might have got away with it. That 5th one, the referee was right on it.
Jason Baker, Jordan Arnold, and Crystal Hogan are the officials for tonight's game. Celebrate the holidays with the Herd, the men's basketball team, partnering with the Hoops Family Hospital for a teddy bear toss here tonight. And just a great time of year, and of course a lot of college basketball in the month of December. Bobcats back to work here. Here's Litton, young man who hails from the Mountain State. Litton twisting, turning, and getting it to go. That's his 2nd field goal of the game. He had a 3-pointer in the first half.
And Litton's a very solid center there. You know, he stepped out, made a 3 in the first half there, showed his arsenal off the bounce. He's a really nice player for Wesleyan in the Mountain East Conference.
I have a chance to do a lot of high school games in the Mountain State as Anachili-Killen puts up the tough shot. He has 10 now in the contest. I remember seeing Litton when he was a freshman, and said that kid's got some ability, and nice to see him continuing his career, and cleans it up there and scores it for the Bobcats.
Yeah, averaging 11 points a game, so he's a double-figure scorer, shooting 50% from the field. 4 rebounds a game. Just a very solid rotational piece for this Wesleyan team.
45-30. Bina and Chili-Killen handing it to Dawson. And going to have a whistle here. And a foul going to be called. Going to go against Alex Gray. That will be Gray's second. And that will be team foul number 1 on the Bobcats here in this second half of play. Of course, we're going to see Texas State later this season, another set of Bobcats. And the Ohio Bobcats, the Wesleyan Bobcats. And the guy played for those Bobcats once upon a time, Nate Martin, down low here, and will score.
Good finish by Nate. I think he got away with a little bit of a travel. Ref probably let it go because he's getting fouled. But good job playing through. Didn't get disparaged. Kept going, fought through, ended up pivoting inside and finishing at the bucket.
Litton commits the foul. That's his first team foul, number 2 on Wesleyan here in the second half. Nate Martin, good look at that young man who has been rock solid here for Marshall. Season and a half. Maracini across the timeline. Works against Spear. Dashes, pulls up. Litton looking for a 3. Off the mark there. Chasing it down is Mingo, the Canadian, on the run. Here is Dawson for the 3. Got it. Michael Dawson with his 4th 3-pointer of the game. Marshall up 50-20. Maracini negotiating there against Spear. Now here's Litton with it. Back to Maracini, the Texas native. Wheels around. It will stay with the Bobcats.
And this is a good response from Marshall. Mark, Wesleyan came out, hit a couple shots early. Marshall sort of stemmed that tide, got the lead back to 20. So they responded well, and Coach Jackson, has to be proud of what he's seeing out on the court. They're going to get the foul. Nate just a little too handsy. He's a big, strong guy. He doesn't need to be hunched over, lean forward, putting his arms on. Just take it in the chest and force Ovia to, shoot over top of him. Don't want to get any cheap fouls like that, especially, as the season goes on in conference play when you may need him. May need him for more minutes.
A.J. Crosby will head into the game for Wesleyan, and checking out will be Ovia. 20-point lead, our biggest lead of the game. So out on the floor for Marshall is Michael Dawson, Obina Chili-Killen, Kay Gibbs, Jalen Spear, and Ryan Nutter. Wesleyan countering with Alex Gray, Curtis Litton, A.J. Crosby, and Batchelor. Can't forget him. He has 13 in the game, and also rounding out that 5 is Alex Maracini. So Batchelor continues his impressive game, but so too does Dawson, who now has 19 in the matchup with the Bobcats. 5 3-pointers for Dawson.
You think Dawson enjoys playing the Bobcats? 20 plus against Ohio last game. Here already 19. He's shooting the ball at a high clip. He's a guy, if you're West Virginia Wesleyan, you might want to guard and make sure somebody else is the one shooting.
53-32, Dawson with 27 against Ohio, had 28 earlier in the season against Western Kentucky. Marshall out in front on Wesleyan at the moment here at the Cam Henderson Center.
Who says that business isn't personal? That what we do should be separate from who we are? At Encova Insurance, we do things differently. Our agents partner with small businesses to get to the heart of what matters. Because we're in the peace of mind business, and we take that very personally with auto, home, and business insurance. At Encova, we're ready for what's next.
Ladies and gentlemen, the power of a word. The anticipation, the adrenaline, the hair on the back of their necks rising. The crowd, the score rising. Greatness rising, the sun rising. Sometimes a word is best left all by itself. The Sun Belt Conference, 14 universities, 10 states, rising.
Marshall Thundering Herd as they entertain West Virginia Wesleyan. Marshall leads the series 30-13. The last win for Wesleyan in this series, you have to go back to 1942. Marshall has stretched the lead out here, biggest lead of the game. Here's Obina Anachillikillen, who at the moment has 10 points. And 5 rebounds. And A.J. Crosby at the line. Best defender, best finisher, according to head coach Derek Sloan.
Yeah, and Crosby's a good-looking athlete, especially in the Mountain East Conference, 6'5", pretty athletic. So Coach Sloan has some good pieces. It's just about putting it all together. When you start struggling the way they have the last few years, you know, just 1-2 wins, you can start to build something. You just got to get over that hump and get guys believing. And Coach Sloan has a good positive attitude, so I'd look for him to do that this year.
And again, Crosby just playing in his second game, going to have a foul called here on the Thundering Herd on the offensive end. And it's going to go against Cade Gibbs, his second.
Marshalls don't have to reevaluate that play. They've ran that stagger 2 or 3 times in the last few games, and each time they've gotten called for moving screens, whether it be, you know, just setting the screen right there by Gibbs or closing the elevator screen, you know, against Ohio. They're going to have to reevaluate because you don't want to just run a play if you're just going to keep picking up offensive fouls and turning the ball over.
Bobcats try to get it into the hands of Ovia, who checked in for Litton a moment ago. Here's Anachillikillen on the baseline, and Nutter, who's always around the ball, trying to keep it alive there for the Herd. Aracini will pull up, his shot off the mark. Spear with the rebound down the floor. Gibbs will pull up and put it in. Gibbs has 7 in the game.
And that's a great look ahead there by Jalen Spear. Cade Gibbs had gotten out on the break, found him, easy 2 from Marshall. So it's good to see everybody sharing the ball, especially as this game starts to get a little bit out of control. You don't want to see guys forcing bad shots. There, Gibbs returned the favor, find another on the 2-on-1. So if you're Coach Jackson, that's what you want to see from your team, is just keep sharing the ball, play good team basketball, and let's get everybody involved.
Nutter's first bucket of the game coming into this contest, averaging 5 a contest. Marshall leading West Virginia Wesleyan 57-34. We have a timeout on the floor here from the Cam Henderson Center on ESPN+.
Guys, still working, eh? Take tomorrow off. Keys.
Own a design studio. Win a really big design contract. Realize you're more of a creative type than a finance type. Realize you got this. Use QuickBooks to get your cash flow flowing. Get live expert assistance to maximize your tax savings.
I can help with that.
Get back to doing what you love. Manage and grow your business all in one place. Intuit QuickBooks, your way to money.
This is a classic got up too fast from tying your shoes back injury. Not to be confused with the you threw your back out sneezing back injury. Lucky for you, an Amazon One medical provider can help. And if it comes down to needing meds, Amazon Pharmacy will deliver them to your door. Of course, you have to get to the door.
What are you doing?
Chores. Gotta pitch in, roomie. You know, as a veteran, you earned USAA membership for your family. And we're family.
For you? No.
Worth a try.
You better change those back, son.
Son?
Still, no.
So close.
USAA, are you eligible?
Along with former Herd standout Ott Elmore, our great crew, I'm Mark Martin. Great to have you with us here on ESPN Plus. Marshall leading the Bobcats of West Virginia Wesleyan 57-34 on ESPN2. The Marshall men's soccer team underway with Vermont there in Cary, North Carolina.
Yeah, 4 minutes into the game, 0-0. I didn't realize Ted Lasso was coaching for Vermont. They got a guy over there with a mustache looks like Ted Lasso, so that'll be something to keep an eye on.
All right, thoughts on this early stage of the second half?
Marshall's done a good job. West Virginia Wesleyan came out and hit 2 or 3 of their first 4 shots. Marshall since turned it on, extended the halftime lead from 17-23. Guys are sharing the ball. They're getting out on the break. So everything you see so far from Marshall's been positive. You just want to keep that up because, like I mentioned earlier, this is your last chance to play before you head down to Southern Miss. And that's really when the season starts, when you jump into Sun Belt play.
Bobcats with the basketball. Ovia lost it, but there to pick it up is Lamont Jones, who's back into the game for Wesleyan. This is Batchelor with it. Ovia into the hands of A.J. Crosby. Batchelor gunning, Batchelor hitting.
We might need to look at getting Noah Batchelor here next year for put him on the squad. He shoots the ball pretty well in the Henderson Center.
He is 16 in the game. And Obina Anachili-Killen soars high and gets his 12th point of the contest.
And that was a great feed there by Gibbs. He's got 2 assists on the last 2 plays. You like to see him being, involved in the offense. He's a guy that can do a little bit of everything, sort of like a Draymond Green type for this Marshall team. He's starting to play with a lot more confidence, and he's become an integral member of this rotation.
Crosby back to Jones. Lamont Jones out of Williamsburg, Virginia, puts up the shot, and boy, really arched that one, had to. And Jones gets it to fall through. It's his first basket of the game for the Bobcats. 20-point Thundering Herd advantage. Zane Mingo to Obina Anachili-Killen working against Ovia there, and Anachili-Killen. That's tough to stop, Ott.
Yeah, that's the second or third time he's just, bullied the West Virginia Wesleyan defenders. They throw it in. He just sort of leans his body weight on him, goes through their chest, finishes at the rim. And you like to see Obina being aggressive, and hopefully he starts feeling a little bit better on the offensive end heading into Southern Miss.
Ovia wanting to return the favor, but he lost the ball, and Mingo, beautiful feed there to Nutter, who has 4 in the game. Jacob Gibbs will check in for Marshall. First time tonight for the Plainfield, Indiana native. Nate Martin is in. Curtis Litton is back into the game for the Bobcats, along with Alex Maracini. Here's Litton with it. Guarded there by Cade Gibbs. The Gibbs brothers, part of a set of triplets. Played at Grace college, great NAIA success. As Jackson says, just loves what these guys are all about. They know how to win. 64-6 over the last 2 years. Mingo fires, Mingo delivers.
And going back to the Gibbs brothers, they're guys you want to play with. You know, they do a little bit of everything. They don't take a whole lot of shots, but man, they play great defense. They're good passers. They rebound. They're tough-nosed. They're just winners. And Marshall's lucky to have them here.
Mingo has 5 in the game, and going up high is Crosby. And he puts it through. Crosby's first field goal of the contest. Nutter to Martin. And get it into the hands of Jacob Gibbs and let him slam it through for his first bucket of the game.
Well, Kate Gibbs had a play like that in the first half where Marshall got in the middle of the zone. He cut baseline. Jacob must have been watching because there, same thing happened. Marshall got the ball into the middle of the paint. Gibbs cut off that left side baseline, was able to flush it home.
Largest lead of the game. Marasini falling down, couldn't get it to go. 8 different players have scored here for Marshall now in the game. Mingo. Nutter looking for a 3. Nutter's got a 3. Nutter number 7, and he has 7 in the game. His 5th three-pointer here in this 2024 portion of the 2024-25 campaign.
And the main part of that play there was Jacob Gibbs just got a dunk a second ago. Instead of forcing up a shot that, might have been a little contested, he made the extra pass, got Nutter wide open. Nutter knocked the 3 down. So that's what you want to see from Marshall these last 10-30 is guys sharing the ball.
Marshall has 11 three-pointers in the game, the latest from Ryan Nutter out of Dublin Jerome High School in Columbus. Back to Huntington in a moment.
Guys, still working, eh? Take tomorrow off. Keys.
I have arrived. We're cooler than cool. We're flyer than fly. And the magic? You know we brought it. Yeah, we came to play.
You told Mom to send her prescription to Amazon Pharmacy. She didn't. Now you're stuck behind this guy, as he uses the pharmacy line to purchase half the store, including a ceramic dolphin figurine, without a price.
Price check in pharmacy.
All Mom had to do was use Amazon Pharmacy, and her meds would get delivered right to her door.
Okay, I'll only be gone a couple days, Rumi.
Yay.
I put all the important contact info on the fridge.
That's all USAA.
So you can enjoy that sweet, sweet USAA service while I'm gone.
I know how to get in touch with USAA. I can file a claim or chat right in the app.
Good idea. I should add that.
USAA, auto, home, life, and bank.
You mastered your mind. And all the while, you were on the train home. Audible. There's more to imagine when you listen.
The Bobcats of West Virginia Wesleyan invading Huntington, West Virginia here tonight for a battle with the Thundering Herd, and they don't have much time between games. They play again tomorrow night. They'll be in Canton, Ohio to take on Walsh. Actually, it's an afternoon game tomorrow there in Canton against the Cavaliers, and then they'll be off until the new year, play the Concord Mountain Lions to resume Mountain East Conference play. Wesleyan with the basketball. You think back to some of the great teams they had at Wesleyan, and long before your time, Ott, but great coach by the name of Gary Hess and the late great Bruce Stewart. They had championship teams there at Wesleyan, went on to the NAI National Tournament. Coach Stewart almost had the Bobcats a title, lost a tough one in the championship as Cade Gibbs scores there. He has 9 in the game. They had a player by the name of Jim Brogan out of Marion Station, Pennsylvania, and he spent 3 seasons with the old San Diego Clippers of the NBA. 121 games in the NBA.
No, you mentioned it's a traditional, historic, powerful program. They've been down lately. I think a lot of that has to do, they have high academic standards and not quite the funding as some of the other schools in the Mountain East does. But Coach Sloan, if he can get the right guys in there, that's a program that you can win at. So you just got to get the right guys in and build it the right way, but you can have success. And hopefully in the years to come, he will start to have a little more success than they've had the past few seasons.
Just a beautiful campus there in Buchanan. Foul was on Caden White, who has checked in for the Thundering Herd. Cade Gibbs will come out, and Wyatt Fricks is back in. Ball slapped away. Nate Martin will chase it down, and Martin, ball, he still got it and fighting, and what a play by Nate Martin.
No, good hustle. Got his hand on the inbounds pass, able to steal it. Unfortunately for him, wasn't able to really get a good look at the basket there and got the ball knocked away. But that's the type of defense intensity you want to see, especially since you're up 32 points. There's your best player leading by example. Not giving up anything, still out here hustling hard.
Preseason first team all Sun Belt selection. We're talking about the beautiful campus of Wesleyan. It's also the home of the Strawberry Festival. So if you like strawberries, we're there in May. Can't beat it. It's strawberry everything up there.
I'll have to go up and check that out. I wasn't aware of that, Mark.
Strawberry shortcake. You stick with me.
Yeah, you'll teach me something.
Especially when it comes to food. All right, Bobcats with the basketball, trailing here 73-41. Maricini, outstanding player. Boy, he's battled here tonight, Ott.
Yeah, a little quick guard, shoots the ball well. Wesleyan, has 8 wins the last 4 years, but they have some pieces. Like I mentioned earlier, you just got to get the thing rolling in the right direction. They have some talent. Batchelor, Maricini, Ovia's a good piece. Curtis Litton. So just got to figure out ways to win. Once you lose for so long, it just becomes second nature. If Coach Sloan can get them winning a couple of games, look for that thing to turn around.
Wyatt Fricks, who is averaging 6.5 a game, has his first bucket of the contest. Maricini gets it into the hands of Brian Bernard, who has checked in. Bernard, 6'4" senior from Trenton, New Jersey. Tough shot there for Ovia. Ball smacked away. Into the game for the Bobcats will come Litton and Lamont Jones. Ovia heads out.
And you like how Coach Jackson's starting to open up the rotation. We have White in, Jacob Gibbs didn't play the first half, now he's in. So he's going a little bit deeper into the rotation this second half. And this is what you want. You want to get guys experience. You want to get guys some real game time reps, game time minutes. And look for him to, go a little bit deeper as this game starts to progress.
Maricini had also checked out for the Bobcats, and now heading out will be A.J. Crosby, and re-entering the game is Alex Gray. There is Crosby again, just playing in his second game. Litton with the shot. Litton gets it to go.
I'll tell you what, between him and Batchelor, I've been really impressed with those two. Of course, you knew Maricini was really good coming in, but those two are, nice 2-3, 2-3 punch for him to go along with Maricini.
Wyatt Fricks on the move and looking for another slam, and he's got it. And draws the foul. Well, Wyatt Fricks makes SportsCenter's top 10. 2 games back and a big one there. He's got a free throw coming when we return to the Cam Henderson Center.
A dream can begin with any play with the West Virginia Lottery. While every play can't be a winner, every play is a win for West Virginia. Since 1986, proceeds from the lottery have helped keep our state parks serene and majestic. Proceeds have helped fund education, supporting your school systems, and empowering high school graduates with Promise scholarships. Proceeds also provide care for our seniors, enriching lives and communities. No, not every play is a winner, but every play is a win for West Virginia. Dream big, because when you play, West Virginia wins.
Homes.com is a new, elevated home shopping experience. Beautiful design, tremendously rich content, and my favorite touch, it's the only site that always connects you to the listing agent. Feels like a work of art.
Lovely. What about the app?
Uh-oh! Look what I did. It's ringing. Hello? Hello? Hello?
They can't hear you.
Hello?
Because you glued a frame over the microphone.
I think I've glued the frame over the microphone.
Ding dong!
Homes.com. We've done your homework.
Why do dermatologists worldwide recommend La Roche-Posay? Effective skincare like La Roche-Posay Double Repair Face Moisturizer delivers double action to help repair skin's barrier and provide 48-hour hydration for healthy-looking skin. La Roche-Posay.
Wings and pizza here.
You mean pizza and wings?
16 boneless wings, 1 pizza, wings and pizza.
It's stuffed crust pizza. Pizza is the lead.
Wings and pizza. Guys?
Get a large one-topping stuffed crust pizza and 16 boneless wings starting at $19.99. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
The Home Depot, committed to filling the trades gap.
At the Cam Henderson Center, West Virginia Wesleyan battling the thundering herd of Marshall. We talked about the great sports past for Wesleyan teams, of course, some of the great basketball teams. And Wesleyan, a school that has a Pro Football Hall of Famer, late Cliff Gipp Battles. He was the 1932 top rusher in the NFL as a rookie. Wyatt Fricks at the free throw line. And of course, I think about Pro Football Hall of Famers from Marshall. One guy that comes to mind, the great Randy Moss, and Randy dealing with some health issues, and our thoughts and prayers go out to Randy. And I'll tell you what, not only a terrific football player, but I know you growing up in the Kanawha Valley of this great state, Randy Moss was quite the basketball player, the best in the state of West Virginia one year.
Yeah, good basketball player. Used to come in and play on Friday afternoons with my dad. They had a group that played over at UC. Of course, my favorite thing Randy Moss did in Charleston was he brought Juice to Charleston, a little smoothie place I used to love, and still upset it's no longer, around.
But anyway, Randy, we're thinking of you, and shot from the outside, and it is good as Alex Gray, his first bucket of the game, a three-pointer, 78-46. Gray with his 6th three of the season.
And you like to see, Wesleyan still playing hard, 32-point game. They got a game tomorrow at 3. It could be easy for them to pack it in, but no, they're still out here fighting and battling and, getting the most out of this experience.
Jeffrey Alvarado, number 30, back into the game for the Bobcats. Nate Martin spinning and can't get it to drop. Litton corrals the rebound. Litton coming into the game, averaging 11, nearly 4 rebounds a contest. Here's Bernard for the Bobcats. Gray, thinking about it a lot. I know you would have fired it up.
Yeah, you make one, you're hot. You got to let the next one go for a heat check.
Litton going to go right at Nate Martin and draw the foul. Foul on Wyatt Fricks. That will be his first. And Curtis Litton goes to the line. Helped lead the Clay County Panthers to the state tournament as a senior. Got to play there on the big stage in Charleston.
And now you can say he scored double figures in a Division I basketball game against Marshall. It was just a good, strong take off the side. He's playing with a lot of confidence, and he's going to be able to tell his kids, we played down at Marshall and I got 10+. He's still got some time left on the board to add to his tally.
Yeah, just a junior, so he's just gotten better and better, according to head coach Derek Sloan. He's now in his 4th season at the helm, and a guy who played for Cornelius Jackson at Cleveland State. Wyatt Fricks guns in the three-pointer. 6 different players now out with a 3 for the Herd.
And I feel like we talk about this every game, but if Marshall could just unlock Fricks, he has so much potential. You know, you saw the highlight dunk a minute ago for the and one. You saw he could step in, knock down a 3-point jump shot. Marshall, if they can just find a way to unlock him, you know, he could be a big weapon for Marshall off the bench come Sun Belt play.
Zane Mingo committing the foul there as Gray starting to come alive here now offensively. Nutter will return for the Thundering Herd. Here is Zane Mingo, guy that averaged 22 points in Canada before coming to Marshall. Gray gets the free throw. He's a 69% shooter from the charity stripe. 81-51. Marshall up by 30. Attacking here offensively. Nutter. Double teamed there by Litton and Jones. Nutter's open, looking for another 3 here in the game. Can't get that one to go. Jones gets it and brings it across the 10-second line. Darts toward the bucket, back out to Litton. Talked to one of Litton's middle school coaches today and just talked about what a terrific young man he is. Greg Knopf, real proud of that young man. Here is Martin. And well, he's upset he didn't make it, but he did draw the foul. Going to be charged to Alex Gray. That's his 3rd.
I'll tell you what, Mark, you need a raise. You do more background and in-depth research than just about anybody I've ever seen.
I think you're just impressed with that Strawberry Festival nugget I threw at you.
Whatever they're paying you is not enough. I can tell you that.
Have plenty of Ready Whip or Cool Whip if you're going to get a big old bowl of strawberries there.
And you know, Marshall's either playing really well or really bad when we're talking about the Strawberry Festival with 5 minutes to go. And fortunately for Coach Jackson, you know, it's the former. They're up 30.
All right, into the game for the Thundering Herd. Will Moore. Litton will head out. And John Book-Anoa into the game for the Bobcats. Book-Anoa.
I think I'm just going to call him JB, Mark. We'll just go with JB for me.
Young man from Australia.
Good-looking player. You know,
yeah,
got
6'8".
good frame on him. Big, good shoulders.
6'8" junior. Eric Harding is into the game for Marshall, number 11. This is Caden White with it, wheeling around. Westfall back in for the Bobcats, number 42. Here's Nutter, dribbling through some traffic and then scooping it there to Fricks. Fricks will let it fly. That one won't go, but White with the follow.
What a follow, Mark. He came flying out of nowhere, went up to the top floor, got it, and pulled it back down.
8th point of the season for White, and then Jones will deliver. Hits the three-pointer there, 84-54. Here was Moore trying to fly in there and slam one through. That 3 by Jones was his 2nd of the season. Alvarado with it. Alvarado releases, couldn't get it to go. Nice rebound by Jones.
Oh, don't do that.
I think Alvarado going to be whistled here.
Harding just got a little sped up, got bailed out by the foul, but you know, as he gets more and more game time, he'll get a little bit more comfortable out there. You can tell he's a little bit nervous, but he's a nice looking young player, and he gave him big minutes a couple games ago, you know, here in the Cam Henderson Center.
Another look there at the slam, followed by White. Shot on its way by Will Moore. Can't get it to go. Jones will run it down. Jones looking for his 2nd 3 of the game, and he's got it. Well, Wesleyan now with 9 threes in the game, 50% from the three-point line. And then Will Moore cashes in with a 3. That's his 10th of the season. 87 to 57, 3:28 to go from the Cam Henderson Center in Huntington. We return in just a moment as Will Moore drains the three for the Herd.
A dream can begin with any play with the West Virginia Lottery. While every play can't be a winner, every play is a win for West Virginia. Since 1986, proceeds from the lottery have helped keep our state parks serene and majestic. Proceeds have helped fund education, supporting our school systems, and empowering high school graduates with promise scholarships. Proceeds also provide care for our seniors, enriching lives and communities. No, not every play is a winner, but every play is a win for West Virginia. Dream big, because when you play, West Virginia wins.
Own a design studio. Win a really big design contract. Realize you're more of a creative type than a finance type. Realize you got this. Use QuickBooks to get your cash flow flowing. Get live expert assistance to maximize your tax savings.
I can help with that.
Get back to doing what you love. Manage and grow your business all in one place. Intuit QuickBooks, your way to money.
The Home Depot, committed to filling the trades gap.
3:28 remaining in the basketball game. Marshall 87 and West Virginia Wesleyan 57. Many thanks to Cody Lynn, Grant Traylor, David O'Leary here at Marshall. Great Sports Communications Department. Marshall coming up next. Southern Miss this Saturday from Hattiesburg, and then they'll be at Elon to close out the 24 portion of the 24-25 campaign. And then first four games in Sunbelt play home-wise will be in January. So we'll start out January, 4 straight conference games, Odd.
And that's why this next game at Southern Miss is going to be so big. If you can find a way to steal one on the road early, you got 4 games in a row at home, all very winnable games. You could potentially be looking at 5-0 in Sunbelt play right off the rip. So you need to make sure you get ready to go into Southern Miss this week and get a win.
Shot by Alvarado, won't go, but he chases down his miss. And Alvarado, nice play there to put it through for the young man from Orlando. Caden White has it here. Also want to thank Pete Villarno for his help in our preparation for tonight's ESPN Plus telecast. Sports Information Director at West Virginia Wesleyan. Ray Emmerich is the Athletic Director. Of course, Marshall guided by Christian Spears, who I'm pretty sure is in Cary, North Carolina tonight.
I think it's a safe assumption to think both him and Mr. Brad Smith are there rooting on the Herd. Normally, you know, they're sitting first row right behind the bench, but
and right on cue, as I mentioned, Christian, his son, checks into the game. Kai Spears.
Well, I'm sure he's got somebody tapping him on the shoulder saying, hey, it's time to tune into the basketball game now if he hadn't already been watching. Good to see Kai get in the game. You know, great, good player, great defender. Does a little bit of everything for this Herd team, and look for him to, you know, play a role as the season goes on because he provides good depth at that guard spot.
Bukanoa scoring there. They try to soar it up there for Will Moore. Spears over in the corner. No score there in Cary, North Carolina. Into the game for the Bobcats is Jack Luton. Luton played his high school basketball in the state of West Virginia, Wheeling Park. Great program. Michael Jebbia. Jebbia was a great player at West Liberty. And there is a bucket for the Herd by Caden White, who now has 4 in the contest.
Both off offensive rebounds, showing some athleticism. First, the putback dunk there. Scott over the defender, grabbed the rebounds, able to finish. he's showing a little bit of a spark here in this game.
Alvarado drives and scores. He now has 4 into the game also for the Bobcats. We have Jarrell Baptiste, backup point guard, number 12, out of Orlando, Florida. Eric Harding works hard and scores. Harding coming in 9 points on the season, and Harding on the board now here in the basketball game, 91-63. So the most points of the season now by the Thundering Herd, had 90 against D&E Luton. Going to be called for the travel. Chris Joyce is checking in for Wesleyan. He's out of Princeton, West Virginia. Alvarado will check out there for the Bobcats. Came in and made his presence known. Marshall with the ball. Flip it around. White is open for the 3, and that one won't go. Rebound by Spears, and Spears hammered there. Kai Spears, 6'3" junior. Played his high school ball in Pittsburgh, and of course joins Marshall from the program at Alabama, where he was a part of a Final Four team. Shot from the corner, and it won't go, and Nutter goes up, gets the rebound. Here's White. So we go under a minute to play, and White to Moore.
And Marshall had been looking for that connection the last few possessions, unable to find it, but they're able to find Moore streaking the baseline for an alley-oop. Great pass by White.
Moore has 5 in the game here for the Thundering Herd. Time winding down here in Huntington in this 44th meeting all time between the Bobcats of West Virginia Wesleyan and the Thundering Herd of Marshall. White with the ball. White penetrates, goes to Harding. Harding up with the shot. Can't get it to go. Spears, who's all over the place. Very athletic, brings a lot of energy, flies up there. Here comes the Bobcats now. Joyce, and they turn it over, and that's going to do it here. And it's Marshall getting its 7th win of the season. Big hug there for Cornelius Jackson and one of his former players at Cleveland State, Derek Sloan. Coach Sloan telling me earlier that, you know, he's implemented a lot of what he learned from Cornelius Jackson into this Wesleyan program and try to build things there in Buchanan. Marshall with a 2nd straight victory over a group of Bobcats as they take down Wesleyan here 93-63 now. 7-5 on the season, 7-1 here at home. Wesleyan now 2-9 and 1-6 on the road, leading the way here tonight for the Thundering Herd of Marshall. 19 by Michael Dawson. Obina and Achille Killen had 14, and for Wesleyan, Michael Batchelor had 16 in the contest, and also Curtis Litton hits for double figures with 11. Final thoughts on this one, my man?
No, great effort by the Marshall team tonight. Anytime you get a 30-point win, you take it. Got everybody into the ball game, you know, got feeling good, rested some guys. Now the season begins. You go down to Southern Miss, you got to get a win on the road and start your season off right, because you get a win there, you have a chance to go 5-0 to start the conference with the next 4 at home. So big game for Marshall coming up.
All right, that will do it from Huntington. Marshall gets the win 93-63. This has been a presentation of ESPN.